A rich housewife waved her credit card at me and barked, "I want a private shopping session. Cancel every other customer for me." When I declined, she scoffed, "Then I'll have this store shut down." I smirked, turned the register screen around, and said, "Funny, because your card just got declined." I've been working in retail for over a decade, and I've seen my fair share of entitled customers. But nothing prepared me for the encounter I had at the boutique clothing store I manage in Charleston, South Carolina. It was a typical humid afternoon when she entered. Draped in designer labels from head to toe, oversized sunglasses perched atop her perfectly styled hair, and a handbag that probably cost more than my monthly rent. She exuded an air of superiority that was hard to ignore. Without so much as a greeting, she approached the counter, waving her platinum credit card like a wand. "I want a private shopping session," she declared. "Cancel every other customer for me." I blinked, momentarily taken aback. "Ma'am, we don't offer private shopping sessions during regular hours, and we have other customers in the store." She scoffed, "Then I'll have this store shut down." I managed a polite smile. "I'm afraid that's not possible." She proceeded to select a mountain of clothing, demanding my undivided attention. I assisted her as best I could, all the while tending to other customers. After an hour, she strutted to the counter, items in tow, and handed me her credit card with a smug grin. I ran the card. Declined. I tried again. Still declined. I turned the register screen toward her. "Funny, because your card just got declined." Her face turned a shade of crimson. "That can't be right. Run it again." I did. No luck. She snatched the card back, muttering about calling her husband. As she stepped outside to make the call, I resumed assisting other customers, many of whom had witnessed the exchange and offered sympathetic smiles. Minutes later, she returned, flustered. "There must be a mistake. I'll be back." She never returned. A week later, I received a call from our corporate office. Apparently, the woman had filed a complaint, accusing me of discrimination and poor service. Fortunately, our store's security footage told a different story. Corporate sided with me, and the matter was dropped. In retail, we often encounter individuals who believe their wealth entitles them to special treatment. But respect is a two-way street. No amount of money can buy decency. And sometimes, the universe has a way of humbling even the most arrogant among us. 3 days after the whole credit card incident, I thought it was over. Customers came in and out like usual. My coworkers joked about card decline Barbie, and we all had a good laugh. But then I saw her again. This time, she didn't come through the front door. I was taking a late lunch in the break room when one of the new hires, Molly, came in with wide eyes. "She's here. That lady. The one with the big sunglasses and attitude. She's in the back with the regional manager." I put down my sandwich and walked out. Sure enough, she was in the stockroom somehow. Standing beside her was Alan, our regional manager, looking extremely uncomfortable. She turned to me, smirking like she owned the entire block. "You," she snapped. "This is the disrespectful employee I told you about." Alan looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. "Can we talk in your office?" We went inside. She sat down in the guest chair like it was a throne. Alan stayed standing. "I've been a loyal customer for years," she began. "I come here every month, and I spend thousands." I was humiliated in front of other shoppers. Do you know what that does to a person's reputation in this town? I stayed quiet. Alan gave me a look that said, "Please don't make this worse," but I wasn't going to back down. "Your card declined," I said. 3 times. "Then you threatened to shut down the store." I was calm. I was professional. "That's all on the security footage." "You embarrassed me," she hissed. "You made me look like some broke idiot." "I didn't do that." "The card did." She turned red again, then stood up and pointed at me. "I want him fired." Alan tried to intervene, but she cut him off. "If you don't let him go, I'll make calls. Your company isn't the only boutique in Charleston. I'm connected." This location can disappear. She stormed out before Alan could say another word. Once she was gone, he sighed and sat down. She's friends with the mall director, he muttered. And a board member of the retail association. I'm not saying you're in the wrong, but this could get messy. I stared at him. You're not actually considering firing me, are you? He shook his head. No. But she might try something else. She did. 2 days later, we had a surprise fire inspection. Then a health department visit. Then someone from the city came by claiming we hadn't renewed a signage permit, one that didn't even exist. Our store was being harassed. Every day, someone new showed up, clipboard in hand, with some excuse to poke around and just check things. My coworkers were spooked. I was livid. I started documenting everything. I pulled security tapes, wrote down names, times, badge numbers. I even recorded a conversation with one of the inspectors who let it slip that a community VIP had lodged several complaints. Then I got lucky. One of our regulars, Nancy, a sweet woman who ran the bookstore down the hall, came in one morning and whispered to me, "You've made an enemy." I smiled. I figured that out. She was in here yesterday, Nancy said. Told me you were rude to her. Told me not to shop here anymore. She's telling everyone. That was the last straw. I called my cousin, who works as a junior reporter for a local news site. I gave him everything. The footage, the notes, the inspector's audio, the mall harassment. I told him I didn't care if I got fired. Someone needed to hear it. 2 days later, the article dropped. Headline: Charleston boutique harassed after rich shopper's tantrum over declined card. It blew up. Hundreds of comments. Shares on local Facebook groups. Reddit picked it up. The article had the video clip, blurry but clear enough to show her snapping, the register screen saying declined, and me standing there like a statue. Then the calls started. The store's phone rang nonstop. Corporate called. This time, not to scold me, but to ask for more evidence. And then, she came back. This time, not in designer clothes. Not with sunglasses. She wore plain black pants and a cardigan. Her makeup was minimal. No entourage. No attitude. She looked at me, standing in front of the register. Her mouth opened, then closed. She turned and walked out without saying a word. But it wasn't over. A week later, I got a notice at home. Certified mail. Inside was a cease and desist letter. From her lawyer. She was suing me for defamation. My hands shook a little as I read it. The war wasn't over. It was just starting. And I was ready. I didn't sleep much after the lawsuit letter showed up. It wasn't even the legal part that got to me. I mean, the article never used her name, and I hadn't either. It was the fact that she was this determined to crush me over a card decline. That level of petty? It wasn't just about pride anymore. It was something deeper. I handed the letter to my cousin. He read it 3 times and laughed. She's got nothing. No name used, no identifiers, and it's all backed by video. This is a scare tactic. He was right. Still, I talked to a lawyer. A real one. Paid out of pocket. He confirmed what my cousin said, but added, keep your head down for a bit. Don't poke the bear. Document everything. Fine. I could do that. Then something weird happened. One of the junior employees, Tara, pulled me aside one day. She looked nervous, like genuinely scared. She offered me money, Tara whispered. The lady, the one with the sunglasses. She came up to me in the parking lot yesterday. My stomach dropped. What? She said if I gave her dirt on you, she'd make it worth my while. Said she'd destroy you anyway, but wanted something quicker. I told her I didn't know anything, and she said I was lying. We checked the cameras. Sure enough, there she was leaning against her Mercedes, talking to Tara in the corner of the lot. I sent that footage to corporate. I filed a police report. Not that they do anything, but I wanted it on the record. That same week, she started showing up again, never inside, just outside. Sitting in her car, watching. It creeped everyone out. Then someone started leaving negative reviews. Hundreds of them. On Google, Yelp, even obscure sites nobody used anymore. All fake. All targeting me by name. Manager is rude and racist. He refused to help me because I wasn't his kind. He yelled at a mother in front of her kids. It was insane. Completely fabricated. I flagged them, but they kept popping up. Then my landlord called. Hey, I don't know what's going on, but someone just came by asking about you. Said they were with a credit reporting agency. Wanted to confirm you lived here and if you paid rent on time. I sat down. Hard. She was digging. Digging into my life. Trying to find something, anything, to ruin me. The day after that, my mom got a weird letter in the mail. Someone had sent her a printout of the article with a sticky note that said, "This is your son?" I hadn't even told her the full story yet. That was it. I stopped playing nice. I took everything I had, the video, the fake reviews, the attempted bribe, the stalking footage, the notes, and handed it off to my cousin again. This time, he passed it to a bigger outlet. Within days, a follow-up article dropped. Boutique manager faces intimidation campaign after declined card incident. Wealthy socialite accused of stalking, bribery. It went viral. Real viral. People started digging. Not me, other people. Internet detectives. They figured out who she was within hours. Her charity board memberships, her husband's real estate company, her daughter's TikTok. Everything. And oh man, it got ugly. Turns out, I wasn't the first person she tried to ruin. A former caterer came forward. Then a florist. A pet groomer. She had a pattern. All of them had similar stories, aggressive behavior, threats, sudden bad reviews, mysterious permit issues. She'd been playing this game for years. Then came the real twist. A woman named Vanessa reached out to me. She said she used to work for her as a personal assistant. She told me that after the card incident, the lady had a full meltdown. Threw things. Screamed that I had humiliated her. Said she'd crush him like a bug. Vanessa had emails, recordings, screenshots of messages where she told friends to leave bad reviews. And one where she told her husband, "This little store boy thinks he can embarrass me. He's going to lose everything." I nearly dropped my phone reading that one. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. He smiled for the first time in our meetings. "Good," he said. "Now it's your turn." We were building a case now. Harassment. Defamation. Civil damages. It was real. I didn't want to sue at first, but this wasn't just about me anymore. She'd done this to too many people, and right as we were about to file, she disappeared. Like, gone. The Mercedes never showed up again. Her house went dark. Her social media vanished. Her name was scrubbed from charity boards. Even her daughter's accounts went private. Rumor was she left the state. Someone said she went to a wellness retreat in Arizona. Another said she was hiding out in her husband's condo in Miami. It didn't matter. Because people were still talking. The news stories were still up. The screenshots were everywhere. And her reputation? Toast. But I knew, deep down, she wasn't done. People like her never stop. They wait. They plot. They find new ways to claw back control. So yeah, maybe she's quiet now. But I'm not turning my back. Not yet. It was 6 months of silence. No weird letters. No fake reviews. No car parked across the street watching me. Things finally felt normal again. I stopped checking over my shoulder. I stopped saving security footage every day. Even started sleeping better. Then one morning, I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a single sheet of paper with 2 words printed in all caps, "Remember Emmy." I sat there for a minute, just staring at it. Hands went cold. The paranoia came rushing back. But I was done running. I had spent too long living scared of her, scared of what she might try next. I still had Vanessa's messages. Still had recordings, screenshots, everything stored in the cloud, 3 backups deep. So I made a decision. I called a lawyer and filed a civil suit. Not just for harassment. For damages. Emotional distress. Defamation. Business interference. She might have disappeared, but her husband was still around. So was their family's money. The papers were served through her husband's business in Charleston. That alone made headlines. Everyone knew exactly who it was. 3 days after that, her lawyer called mine. They wanted to settle. I said no. She had tried to ruin my life, and now that the heat was on her, she wanted to walk away clean. I wasn't going to let her. Not this time. A month later, we were in court. She showed up. Smaller than I remembered. Not physically, just defeated. No designer dress. No dramatic hair. Just a gray suit, flat shoes, and a face that had aged 10 years since I last saw her. The courtroom was packed. News crews outside. Reporters in the gallery. Every time she opened her mouth, you could hear the silence in the room. She tried to spin it. Said she was under stress, that she'd had a mental health crisis, that her behavior wasn't her true self. The judge wasn't buying it. Neither was the jury. When it was my turn to speak, I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just told the truth. About how she tried to ruin my career. About the lies. The stalking. The way she tried to buy her way out of consequences. And then Vanessa took the stand. That sealed it. The emails. The recordings. Her laughing about how easy it was to destroy poor people. How she loved the power. The way she casually ruined reputations like it was a game. The jury didn't take long. Verdict: guilty. Harassment. Defamation. Intentional emotional distress. Damages awarded, over $300,000. She gasped when she heard the number. Her lawyer leaned over and whispered something. She shook her head like a child throwing a tantrum. Eyes welled up. For the first time, I saw her crack. And it wasn't anger anymore. It was fear. Afterward, as we walked out of the courthouse, she tried to approach me. I didn't let her speak. Just looked her in the eye and said, "You wanted me to remember you. Now the whole city will." She stood there, alone on the courthouse steps, cameras flashing. No driver. No sunglasses. No one to cover her shame. It wasn't over for her. Turns out, the court case triggered more lawsuits. The florist, the caterer, the dog groomer. Even her old assistant Vanessa filed her own suit. And those charity boards? They wanted her name gone. Her husband's business? Investors pulled out. She lost everything. But here's the part one haven't told anyone. There was a moment, right before I walked out of court, when I felt something I didn't expect. Pity. Because for all her money, all her status, all the screaming and threatening and fake power, she had nothing real. No friends. No support. Just her own rotted ego. She made her bed. I just turned on the light and showed everyone what was under the sheets. As for me, I got promoted. Transferred to a better store with better pay. My team threw me a surprise celebration the day the verdict came in. We laughed, we danced, we drank champagne out of coffee mugs behind the register. But I keep the remember me letter in a drawer. Not because I'm scared anymore. Because I want to remember exactly what happens when someone thinks they can treat people like garbage and walk away. Not this time. Not ever again.